Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to tonight's video. Today is Tuesday, April 23rd, 2013. Hope everyone's having a fine evening. Let's look right into these charts. Looks like right now we're still looking at this potential head and shoulder pattern. We still haven't taken out this top. I know a lot of traders are saying, oh, if it takes out these highs at 157.70 that the pattern is negated. As long as it doesn't make a newer high, and this will still be the head. So this could be still a head and shoulder pattern in the making, as long as it doesn't take out this 52-week high, which is at 159, just under 160. First, we have to take out this big red bar, and that would be an early sign that this is going to fail, because this is a high volume red bar, a big red bearish bar on pretty decent volume. So if we do take that out on volume, do expect that it will reach this gap fill and potentially test these highs. And then I'll start to think maybe this pattern will be broken and we might break up the 52-week highs. But we'll see how that goes right now. We'll just, the chart is a chart right now. It still could be making a lower high. So let's see where that goes. Let's look intraday. Very intriguing stuff intraday. We got kind of a mini flash crash that took place within a few minutes. And we go to the 1 minute chart, you can see that. I believe it was all some kind of rumor on Twitter that there was some kind of bombing at the White House. But that's very interesting nonetheless. Actually, if you look back at the chart, it actually went into exact gap fill, which is very interesting. Filled this gap, lost all the gains for the day, and bounced all the way back. So if you would have put your order in right here, you would have made a ton of money. Very cool stuff right there. Pretty much recovered within minutes. And then just kind of just close it near the highs of the day. So this market looks like it doesn't want to grind higher. But my first spot to, for a nice scalp short would probably be gap fill. As long as the pattern, everything looks okay. The measured move comes out, which is the measured move right here. I kind of drew this out off this kind of bullish flag. It's already broken now with this nice little flash crash. But that measured move did come up to gap fill. So I was waiting for gap fill to put on a little short-term intraday short, but at this time the pattern has changed, so I'm just gonna have to reevaluate when it gets up there. Let's look at another chart pattern. Let's go to Apple. Apple reported earnings after the bell. Looked like a big head fake, in my opinion. I think it opened up after being halted. It opened around the 427-ish area, and now it just closed right back around the lows of the day. So don't fight the trend, guys. I mean, I'm not surprised that it stalled out here. This is your 20 moving average. Couldn't get back above it with this pivot. And really the spot to hold was this 419 area, because that was the previous resistance, and it failed to hold that. So if we gap up in the morning and above 419, that could be a sign that this could be a nice little gap play, holding above this previous support, now resistance. So if it gaps above that, it could be some upside. But right now we have to give benefit of doubt to the trend, which is down on all time frames. On the intermediate time frames, like the daily, weekly is starting to look pretty ugly as well. It's kind of compressed between two moving averages right now. You got the 20 sloping down and the 200 sloping up, so it's kind of stuck, smashed in the middle right now. We have to see which way it wants to break. I'm still looking at the same area, guys. 450. I sold some puts this week. 450, just in case. I actually wanted to accumulate at a lower, I'm sorry, 350, 350 I wanted to accumulate at that price, so I didn't mind selling a few there, and I also sold some even further out just to collect some premium. But right now, that's what I'm seeing in Apple. Right now, could be a head fake. I'm looking for this thing to go down. That's what I'm hoping for, so I can get a better entry price to hold this for the long term. Amazon, I believe, reports earnings later this week. Not much here. I'm just waiting for a move either direction. You want to trade the small ranges, that's fine, but I'm looking for a bigger move to play this. But right now it's just kind of stuck in this little tight range. If you like playing tight ranges, you can just keep playing this back and forth here, but not what I like to do, so I'm just keep ignoring Amazon for the moment. Maybe Amazon will give that big move that I'm looking for. Let's look at gold. Gold, I called for a short-term bottom right after we made that weekly hammer candle, and sure enough, guys, that's exactly what we have. Hammer candle. It's called that this would be the short-term low. If you sold puts like I did, I mentioned on Friday's video, you'd be swimming in some pretty good premium profits right there, because as we held that beautifully. Go back to the daily chart. Held that so far 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days so far. So yeah, if you did weeklies there, you'd be collecting all the premium already, just selling it just below this area. That's a nice little sweet trade right there. It's still holding above this previous red bar. So let's see where it goes from here. Not surprised it stalled out. You have the 10 moving average sloping down here, so that's why you're seeing that. So that's the gold's chart. What else want to look at? Google. Google, I believe, is breaking out that previous trend line over here. This is off earnings. So we'll see where that goes. Right now, the moving averages are kind of neutral-ish. We had a death cross here. Now it's trying to fight back above. So you pretty much want to stay away from that pattern. There's not much to do there. If you want to go long, perhaps if you see a pattern back into these, retest this trend line and maybe a Fibonacci or something like that. But nothing I like to trade at the moment on Google. What else? Look at some of these other indexes. The index, the Russell 2000, looks like it did negate that head and shoulder pattern. So it did tag that neckline and it got back above. So that pattern's negated. But now we are into actual another resistance level at this death cross right here. Also into like a 6.8 retrace as well. 61.8 retrace from this high to this low into a death cross. So that's going to be short-term resistance right there. Wouldn't be surprised to see it stall out there after two moving averages being joined together. Right into it and resistance 6.8 into a bit. You're also inside a big red bar, so I would not be surprised to see a slight pause or pullback from here on the IWM. Kind of coincides with the SPY, I believe, as well. Let me see. Actually, we are above the moving average on the SPY. So the next level for this, like I said before, sorry for jumping back and forth, but right here, that's 75% retrace, and the high of this bar. Any close with conviction above this red bar could mean we're gonna try to attack these recent highs. Qs, same story, guys. Pretty much attacking to those new highs. It's over above the 50% retrace. So let's see how it all plays out tomorrow. Pretty decent volume too on this up day. If you were bearish, you'd like to see smaller green candles, but this actually was a nice big green bar. I'm pretty sure it's based off of Apple. Let's look at the SPY's volume. I believe it was a little higher as well. Yeah, I believe Apple probably had much to do with that as well. Look at the IWM's volume candle. Yeah, that's actually increasing on the IWM. So a lot of mixed messages in this market, guys, but we'll play it by ear one day at a time and just don't force anything in this market. Okay, what else do I want to take a look at before I take off? Let's look at Chevron. I believe Chevron's pretty decent setup into also a death cross, coming into a death cross here with a 618 retrace. Right here, not quite a death cross yet, but if you let me zoom this in, you can see two moving averages crossing down into each other. So I'm not surprised to see it kind of close off the highs of the day. And also it would be a trend line retest as well. So you have to kind of look at all these factors. Look at this trend line that held beautifully for so long since in 2012 in November. Look at this trend line, beautiful tags of it, tagged it 3 times, broke down, retesting here with two moving averages here, which is also a 61.8 Fibonacci retracement. See, this is how you find good setups, guys. You find good chart patterns. You also have a bearish kind of retracement pattern off this big down leg here. So that could be a decent spot to short setup. Look at a weekly chart, see if we can find any other resistance areas here. Got two moving averages here. You also have the 10-week moving average. It's rising, but just to add a little more conviction to that chart setup. Let's see. Let's jump around to another chart before I take off. Anything else I usually look at? I think that's pretty much it. Let's look at price line. Let's see what that's doing right here. Still holding on to this trend line. Looks like on a weekly chart, daily chart. Let's take a look what happened. Yep, bounced off that trend line beautifully. Had this drawn in, guys. See my old videos. This trend line's been drawn in the whole time. So it's beautiful how these the trend lines always act as support and resistance. But as long as it lines up with other factors, it could be a very, very, very cool spot to go long. Very intriguing stuff nonetheless. Okay, guys, I think I want to take off right there. Great trading day for me on Apple, so we'll see how it all plays out tomorrow morning. Hope you guys have a great one. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.